Yes, I think we can start now. What do you say?
Hey, that works with me. I'm ready when you are.
Yes, I saw like people are joining, no problem. So, yeah, first of all, hello, beautiful guys, for having here in the Geek Chat community, definitely. And yeah, as for I think guys like to discuss more about the PADZ finance. Their mission is very simple to remove the barrier to entry and high cost associated with investing in the real world property. And here's our honorable guest today. I'd like to invite him. Could you please, sir, introduce yourself a little bit and also how do you connect this project and also your experience?
Of course. Yes, definitely. First off, thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate it. And over at the Geek Chat team, I do appreciate the opportunity to be here as well. So I'm Ampton. I'm the founder of PADZ. Like Austin mentioned, our goal is to transform the way that you invest in real estate one pad at a time. Um, Basically, this idea conceptualized a couple of years ago. Um, I am a real estate agent in Canada. Little bit about me first, I guess. I am kind of a serial entrepreneur. Um, my first business was really when I was 8 years old, and I was flipping bicycles. And so I would join my mother every Saturday morning at garage sales, and I would purchase bicycles for $5 or $10, clean them up, fix them up, and then sell them for a profit. And by the time I was 9, I had flipped like 45 bicycles. And as I kind of grew up a little bit, that transformed into baby toys and kids toys, play plans and strollers and stuff. I found a bit of a niche in that market, and that was kind of when I'm 12 years old or something. And that kind of went to furniture and couches, and slowly realized that my friends didn't want to help me move couches. And so then I kind of started working into cars. When I was in high school, I was actually importing cars from Japan into Canada. And so this is about 15 years ago. You may recognize some of the Japanese Fast and Furious cars, the Skylines and RX-7 and Supra, stuff like that. And that was a really neat opportunity. And then right after I finished high school, I found an opportunity with real estate. And I jumped into getting my real estate license. I was actually the youngest real estate agent in my city in Canada of over 1 million people. With Remax, you may recognize the company Remax. I'm still employed with them. I've been with them for over 14 years now. Entered the Remax Hall of Fame in my mid-20s. I've been recognized as a top 35 under 35 in Canada in the real estate market or industry. And most recently just finished a term serving as the chairman representing 1,100 real estate agents in actually southern Alberta. So that's kind of a little bit about where I'm coming from. It's not easy for me to speak about myself like that, but I was asked an interesting question the other day, and that was, if ads become successful, there's going to be copycats. And so what is going to differentiate PADZ from something else? And really the answer is me. And so you guys are investing in me and my idea and my project. And I've always been a forward thinker and a strategist, and so that's what's going to push us along. So Hope that wasn't too long. I know it's boring sometimes to hear about somebody else, but
Yeah, not
that's
at all,
kind
not
of
at all.
a long story about me.
I enjoyed.
No, I appreciate that. So, and then just um, a couple of years back, I think it was March 2022, I recognized that real estate. I always kind of knew that real estate was in high demand, but I started really looking at the Canadian market a couple of years ago and the migration moving into Canada, and then our prices, and the prices are very high, and I thought, why couldn't I buy a half a home or a quarter of a home, or me and 10 friends, buy a portion of a property? And then I thought, well, what if there's people on the other side of the world that may want to invest in Canadian real estate, for example, or a desirable market, but maybe couldn't because of those traditional barriers that you mentioned. So, having a massive financial capacity, sometimes to invest in real estate, it's 50 grand, 100 grand, and that can obviously limit the majority of the world. But there's also location barriers. If you want to invest in Canada, you got to be in Canada. If you're not a resident in Canada, it's more challenging. And then what if you don't want to be in the system, right? What if you don't want to have your KYC or be registered or whatever the case? And so really the goal, or our mission statement, is to allow global access to invest in real estate. And as you guys all know, I'm preaching to the choir here. With DeFi, we're allowed to do that with as little as a few dollars. Of course, on the Ethereum network, which we are, it's maybe more than just a couple dollars. It might be 5 or 10 or 20, but you guys get the point. It's a lot more attainable for a lot of people to get exposure into real estate with PADZ.
Yes, thank you. Happy to know about yourself, your experience. So I can definitely see you have a lot of experience in crypto, outside of crypto, definitely. So yep, thank you. So yeah, people if you want to learn more, just join their community as I mentioned. Like they are trying to revolutionizing the real world property investing with like the fractional ownership, and the token will own a I can see the corporations with invest in the real world asset in like desirable market. So yeah, their plan is to like grow their ecosystem and also more prioritize their ecosystem actually. So like could you share about your tokenomics? Like what does your pets token play role in your ecosystem, and also where can people buy?
Of course. So what's unique about PADZ is that our ecosystem has two self-sustaining divisions. So we talked a little bit about the real estate side, but switching gears to the token itself, we are launching on February 19th on Uniswap. The token is not available yet. There a little bit about the tokenomics. The supply is 1 billion PADZ tokens. Our taxes are 7% for the buy and the sell. The reason for that is 2% of that goes towards our holders, and that's paid in USDT on every buy and sell transaction airdropped into your wallet. And this is to foster loyalty and long-term engagement. So we are trying to cater more towards the community, long-term holders, people that see the vision, as opposed to your pump and dumps and the traders. So we have our 2% rewards. It was also important for us to allocate 2% towards our liquidity pool to stabilize and provide liquidity for traders. And then also the remaining 3% goes to our ecosystem. None of the rewards are paid in the PADZ token because we've seen the sell pressure that brings. And so everything is paid in USDT. If you guys know a little bit about compounding, you're obviously encouraged to compound that into more tokens, but you do have the flexibility of receiving a stable coin to spend on whatever you want. But that 3% balance goes towards our ecosystem. Now that's marketing, development. We are creating a brand new website, and also putting money back into our ecosystem, which generates or which purchases real world properties. And the intent with these properties is that they all generate a cash flow. So they're all rental properties that have a tenant in them paying off the mortgage and a cash flow. And then with those proceeds, we can funnel that back into the ecosystem as well. And so that's kind of where we get these two different divisions. And what I mean they're both self-sustaining is because they both generate an income, and they will both support the brand, the whole PADZ ecosystem.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for these. So yeah, like people, you can check out their website as I mentioned, this is PADZ.finance, and also so I can see you have your buy and sell taxes there 7%, but in future you have a plan to reduce these taxes. Like sometimes people get like discouraged to purchase when they can see like high taxes. So do you have a plan to reduce this tax in future?
100. Well, it is something that we've thought about. So one thing to take note is it's easier to reduce the taxes than increase them. So it's where we're starting at 7%. We understand that they're high. Now, the one, we will never touch the holder rewards unless that is increased, but you can always guarantee to receive your rewards. That's a big part of our token. Where we have a little bit of leeway potentially is in our liquidity allocation. So there could be a point in the future that we could remove that auto liquidity injection. We have set aside 51% of our tokens for liquidity anyways. So it is possible that we could shave off 2% and get it down to 5 and 5. But we do understand that this industry, the real estate industry, everything in the world costs money and everything is expensive. Some of these exchanges are tens of thousands of dollars, and it is going to take money. And so the allocation towards the ecosystem, I don't foresee that changing, just because we are in an expensive market. But I think in the future, there is a possibility to drop it a couple points.
Okay, yes, happy to know this. And also, people, if you want to say like, why should you invest? So this is very clear. I think like property sometimes is considered as a appreciative asset, but often that requires a large amount of funds to purchase. So I think by like the fractionalizing ownership together, they can or you can own the properties and benefit from its appreciation. So yeah, that's how I think you should need to invest in their PADZ.finance. And also in addition to holders will receive 2% reflection on every buy and sell of the PADZ token, as like you mentioned. So I think that's the reason actually. So thank you for this, and also could you share how does PADZ enable fractional ownership of like properties? As I mentioned, like people can purchase with like a fractional property. So how does they can do actually?
Yeah, no, excellent question. So right now, very simplistically, what we will do is we perform our core team performs a real-world market analysis. And after doing so, we determine that, for example, your city or your state has the best potential for property appreciation, the value appreciation, positive migration. Maybe it's an area that's currently undervalued. There's a lot of things that are going to go into this. And once we determine our location that we're investing in, we will pull out a corporation in that state or in that province, and we'll fund the corporation. And that corporation essentially goes and purchases the property. Every property is going to be purchased with the intent of a 5-year term. That coincides with a lot of mortgage renewal terms. And so after 5 years, so these homes, we purchase them, we'll rehab them if they need to be, and then we'll rent them out. And in 5 years, we'll reassess. As our mortgage expires, we'll actually hold a decentralized vote to do we keep this property for, with another 5-year plan, or do we sell the property, and what do we want to do with those proceeds? Do we put it back into the ecosystem for marketing, exchanges, website, whatever, or buyback, or do we purchase another property with the proceeds? And so that's kind of how we're operating for the next, foreseeably for this year. In the future, really what we envision is taking for example, a prime apartment. So let's just say, 100-unit apartment building on the ocean in Miami. We'll take that, we'll put that on the blockchain. We can distribute, 1,000 shares, 100,000 shares, or we call them tokens. And in the smart contract, it would actually be built in that, the proceeds get distributed, or the profits get distributed in between all of those holders. And you could actually, buy and sell your share of a specific building on the open market. So that's kind of what, when you hear of the word tokenization, and there's kind of a narrative, that we're hearing about with the Ethereum ETF and tokenization of assets. And really what that does is it takes an expensive asset, whether that's a painting, the Mona Lisa, an expensive piece of real estate, and it fractionalizes it, puts it on the blockchain, and distributes 1,000 portions or 100,000 portions of that asset. And so I guarantee we're going to be hearing a lot more of that narrative in the next, certainly this year and the following years. And so that's kind of, our part of our roadmap when it comes to tokenizing individual assets. But first, that's actually on our future roadmap that you can find on our website or social media. Right now, like I mentioned, we need to prove the concept. So we need to launch the token successfully. We need to have volume. We need to grow our real world portfolio of assets. And I think once there's a couple of properties in there and the concept has been proven and it is generating income and everyone can see that this works, then at that point we can invest some R&D and funds into tokenizing specific assets.
Okay, yeah, thank you for this nice explanation, actually. So there is another good question for you. The risk is everywhere. So what strategy does your PADZ employ to mitigate risk and also stabilize the token during the market shutdowns? Or what happens if a home gets trashed, or also the housing market crashes? What is your plan to recover this?
So the whole concept here is diversification. So we understand the volatility in the crypto market, but yet you notice that stable coins don't fluctuate. And we wonder why that is. And it's because they're backed one to one. And so the concept here is that our token is a little bit more, it doesn't fluctuate as much. It's a little bit more stable because the ecosystem, the token, the project owns assets. And I think that'll help. And right now, obviously, we're talking a lot about Canada. That's kind of where we've ended up. There's a lot of incentives that'll be revealed in the future for purchasing property in Canada specifically. But down the road, it's not just Canada. Canada was number one in our market analysis to determine where is the best place for us to purchase a property. But it's not saying that that's always going to be Canada, and it could be it could be anywhere in the world, and that's kind of where we're kind of counting on our community to to bring forward some of these ideas and say, hey, there's a good opportunity in Belize right now, or Nicaragua is really growing. Maybe there's a good opportunity there. And so kind of the diversification thought is that if crypto tanks, well, we're holding some assets. If Calgary real estate tanks, or Alberta or Vancouver, well, we have our token. Maybe at that time we also have some property in another state or another country or on the other side of the world. And so there's always going to be risk. The world could end, everything can crash today, but the point is, or our goal is that by holding real world appreciating assets, that it does help stabilize the price. And so it is going to be paired one to one with our assets. And so our thought is that if you own 1 million PADZ tokens, 0.1% of the supply, then you also own 1% or 0.1% of our corporations and our real world assets in our brand. So today, if an investor is trying to value the brand, our company, right now it's an idea, it's a concept. Once there's real estate involved, if the company owns $1 million of real estate or $500,000 of real estate, I would expect that the token should reflect that. So that's kind of the thought process behind all of this. It's diversification, stability, and because of all of that, that should help mitigate our risk.
Okay, yeah. So people nothing to worry. Like as mentioned, they're working in like diverse area. Like I think like extensive research by their several core team members that will go into each market and also each property prior to purchasing. And I think they believe in diversification. Like so, will recur to different type of property in different markets. Their goal is to just increase the value of their property while having like I can say 10x pay of the mortgage. So if the market like hits to downturn, they will continue renting. So nothing to worry about this. So Amtin, could you share your future plan? I think after that I will go for some live question. But what is your future development plan for now?
Right. So really, in the future, I visualize us having a community of like-minded, passionate people for real estate, where we can bounce ideas back and forth. We can discuss, hey, what's a good cap rate, or what would you guys do if you were qualifying a tenant, or what do you guys think about this area? And I hope that we can provide a lot of valuable real estate advice. We're working on some workshops, for example, how to invest in real estate or how to source creative financing, how to qualify tenants, things to look out for. So we're really trying to create that environment and that community. And I think with some of that education, people will really understand that real estate investing is attainable. Whether you do it on your own with some creative financing ideas, that's awesome. Or, in the world that we live in, everything is changing so quickly and there's so much innovation. And that's really what we hope to bring, is just a new thought process on how to do things. We're modernizing the real estate investment industry is really what we're doing.
Okay, yes, thank you, got it. So I think we can take few live questions. So people, if you have any more question query, raise your hand so that I can just see people for your question. But before that, I think I can ask one more question about your security system, like how secure your PADZ.finance actually to invest in and also to protect the user money.
Right. So obviously, I go back to our two divisions. So we have our smart contract, going through an audit. You can view it for yourself. It's a very simple smart contract. On the real estate side, everything is going to be audited. So we're just working out now. Are we auditing this kind of every month or every quarter? We are having actually in discussions with a lawyer that can be kind of that intermediary, so that essentially all of our holders or the community could actually verify the authenticity, but with this lawyer. So you could actually call and say, hey, does PADZ actually have, these two homes on its balance sheet, for example? So everything is going to have to be audited. There is a level of trust, obviously, that is going to be required, and that's with every single project. But I do understand the industry that we're in, and all the negative people in this industry, all the scammers. And so we're really going to go above and beyond when it comes to transparency and being open about everything. I was telling my my marketing manager the other day that I can't guarantee that this is going to be successful, and I can't guarantee that you're going to make a lot of money in this project. But what I can guarantee is that I'll never scam you, and that I'll never ever lie to you. And you're going to have to. I don't recommend or encourage anyone to do anything, but if you're interested, there is going to have to be a level of trust that goes into it initially until we kind of get everything audited and get everything in place.
Yes, and also like as you're working with the cryptocurrency and also fiat currencies, so how do you manage actually the crypto and fiat together?
Well, so that's why our all of the dividends are in USDT, and so we're not having to sell any PADZ tokens or convert anything. We're going to have USDT that we can wire to a bank account. Now, in order to establish a corporation, one of the requirements is to actually have a bank account. And so with any of the, an off-ramp service, we can send that USDT to the corporation. and like I said, we're just trying to figure out how we can make this all easily monitored for everybody and fully transparent, so you can see kind of exactly what's going on. Because there's a lot of stuff kind of going behind the scenes here, right? So the goal of PADZ is just to make real estate accessible for all, make it easy, make it fun. You get your 2% dividend, and that's going to be great for some people. There's going to be another portion of people that do want a little bit more responsibility, and for that, that's kind of where we're always looking for core team members, and so it's in that, to answer your question there on that, that is separate, because the PADZ token, we're not doing anything with that. The rewards in the stable coin, that can be off ramped to the corporation.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I think I got one more question in my DM. He said to take he asked about, do you have any partners? Like he said, partners is very important. So do you have any partners for now, and also what kind of benefits you're getting from this partnership? The question is from Maria Victoria.
Hey, Maria, thank you very much for the question. So my specialty is in real estate. I have advisors and investors that I partnered with on the real estate side. But what's very unique about this is I brought on a marketing manager that specializes in marketing crypto projects. And within like 2 or 3 hours of hiring him, he brought forward the partnership with BitBrex. And kind of our philosophy is we're an open book. We appreciate collaboration. I'm a firm believer that there's enough business in this industry to go around, that we don't have to worry about competition. And so we have BitBrex for long-term support. They've been in the business for a long time. And more recently, we've got a few other partnerships in the works. One we've already announced with AgroCoin, which is another kind of a unique niche as well, being in the agricultural industry. And we understand that we're in a bit of a unique niche as well, because there's not many people doing what we're doing. And so I think together we can, with that partnership, we're bouncing ideas back and forth, how we can grow together. Again, this is not about, competition or, bashing heads. We're an open book, and we invite all. And then there's a few other partnerships that he is working on, as I mentioned. And like I said, my experience is more weighted in the real estate world. And so that's kind of where, and I've, quite frankly, I've spent 14 years working, creating this network and these partners in the real world. So when it comes time, we're ready to rock and roll.
Yes, thank you. I can see here's another hand. Annie. Hey, Annie Kimmy.
Hey, Annie
Hey, Annie
Kimmy,
Kimmy,
looks like you're ready to talk if you have a question.
could you please ask a question? Annie Kimmy, are you there? Okay, no problem. I can take your question
Okay,
from the
hello.
Twitter. Yeah, ask a question,
Oh,
please.
there we go. How are you
Good
doing?
evening. I'm fine. I wanted to ask a question.
Okay, go
Is the
for it.
Go for it.
project is the project also available for Africans?
It's global. Yeah, that's the cool thing about PADZ is we're focusing on global adoption. We talk a lot about Canada right now, just because that's where we plan on getting the boots on the ground. That's where we plan on buying our first property. And then once we prove that concept, we're open to anywhere in the world, and that's kind of the whole point. Our audience is global, so whether you're in China, Russia, Africa, South America, Canada, we're open to all.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And Kimia, don't forget to join the community. And let me take another question from the Twitter, like it's comment. Okay, yes, there is a good question. Like, what is your marketing strategy to attract more people in your PADZ.finance?
Oh, it's we got a lot planned over the next couple of weeks, especially. We've created a internal roadmap that is actually private for us, our core team, and it has 3 phases on it. Right now we're in the hype phase, which is just generating that buzz and that hype pre-list. On the February 19th, we're going to list, and we have another phase of marketing that we're going to unleash. And then we have our last phase, which is the follow-up. And so each phase actually has unique marketing pushes. So everything from paid ads, we have a whole bunch of organic stuff going on. We have banners. We're getting great traffic on our YouTube channel. I actually just woke up this morning to Crypto's Rich Boy, who posted a video about us. We did not pay for this, and so we're really trying to grow organically as much as possible. But I have full confidence in our marketing manager. We've only been working together for a couple weeks, but he's brought so much to the team and has so much planned already. And I'll admit, sometimes I come to him with some ideas, and he says, "No, scrap it. It's not going to work. This is where we need to go." So he's done this before. He's grown a lot of big projects, and so I don't want to give too much away, but just today alone, we got that video that was a nice surprise that we didn't pay for. And there's also a couple press release articles on online news venues that were also published today, it looks like. So advertising the February 19th launch. So lots in store over here.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, people like you to learn their plan and programs for the future. Definitely have to follow their all kind of social media link. So Anthony, I think we covered everything, like we discussed about your plan, program, security, everything. But so I think we can wrap this session right now. Before that, do you have any kind of suggestion or any important news that you think you want to share with us once again?
No, I'll let you guys go. I know we've taken up a lot of time. I really appreciate everybody here listening in and asking great questions. And do really appreciate the Geek Chat for hosting us. And if you guys are interested, or if you still have questions that you haven't asked, hop on over to our Telegram. We got an open book, so feel free to ask away, and hope to see you over there. Thank you again, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony, for your time, and thank you all of our community members. And also, if you have any more question, query, just go to their kind of social media accounts there. And best wishes to your project for the future. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.